Hi everyone, my name is Rodney Smith. I'm here with Board Game Geek, and I'm also here with Martin Wallace, and you're here as part of representing Ape Games because you're the designer of MOA.
Yes.
The game that we're going to talk about here today.
Yeah, good to meet you, Rodney.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be here and talk to us about this game. I thought could you maybe start by giving us a little bit of the theme, because I know a little bit about it, but we're playing kind of as animals, right?
Yeah, I mean, those people know me. The reason why I designed a game on this is because I moved to New Zealand.
Right.
Okay, about 2013. So, and I like to kind of do games based on places I've been to. Hence, Last Train to Wensleydale, London,
right,
things like that. And so I thought it would be cool to do a game about New Zealand. But New Zealand history is one of colonization.
Right.
Okay, and the problem with that is, if you do it in a realistic manner, you're just going to annoy somebody.
Right, sure.
You're either going to annoy the Maori, or you're going to turn the Pakeha, the white person, because you're either going to whitewash history and pretend that terrible atrocities didn't happen, or you're going to do the atrocities and nobody's going to want to play it because it'll make them feel slightly dirty, like, ooh. So therefore, and also that the Maori are very possessive of their own stories. So again, you have to be very careful about appropriating their culture.
Right.
They don't like it. Okay? So I thought, I don't want to get into a mess like that. So let's just move it sideways.
Take a step remove.
And move it into a fantasy land. And so I'd read a really good book about the moa, which is an ancient giant bird that used to live in New Zealand. Because the thing about New Zealand, before people went there were nothing but birds.
Okay.
There were no mammals.
Yeah, right.
Okay, it was birds. I think the only mammal there was a small bat.
Okay,
because it flew there. So there's, it was a bird society.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, let's use all these different birds, because it would just be an incredible range of birds in.
And so we're sort of representing the birds in the game.
Yeah.
But then, and the settlers are the mammals who are coming into the territory, right?
So you can see that the birds are the Maori.
Yeah.
Okay, they're the original inhabitants. The settlers, the mammals, the rats and the various things, that's us.
Okay.
Okay, we're the bad guys.
Yes, right.
So that's kind of a background in the game. So what you're doing in the game, I mean, really, I call it a middle-way area majority game. Okay, so you're each going to have your set of birds, I believe. I think we've only got two sets here.
We got two sets of birds here, yeah.
So the board's set up, you set these things up, just set these bonus markers up on the board.
These are randomly distributed,
randomly distributed. The game plays in two halves. Okay, and in each half you take 14 of these location cards.
Yes.
And then you get dealt everybody gets dealt a hand of 9 cards. Okay, so I think we've got...
So let me take a few of these cards here and all. Right, so this might be a hand here that I have, right? These can provide, these show the different types of mammals.
So you'd have 9 cards here. So all the different types of birds.
Right, okay.
So then,
the different birds are here, right.
So each turn what happens is, you turn over 2 terrain cards. Now these do 2 things. They tell you where you can do actions, because the board, as you can see, there's different terrains. So there's open, there's mountains, there's beach, I think, grass, woods, and mountains. Right. So this tells us, well, in this case, this is a rather limiting one, because they've got 2 of the same. They've got 2 of the same. Right. So that's both mountains. So that means if you're going to do an action, it's got to be in mountains.
Okay.
So you've got a restriction there. And it also says here, this tells us that if there are any mammal cards, then this type of mammal will invade. This one here tells us that
this one's here's a volcano. Right?
So the volcano moves up, because there is a volcano. I mean, New Zealand, it's a volcanic place.
Right.
It's very cool to have a volcano. So now, then you would do actions. So the cards you've got, you can use...
this area here is good for showing.
Yeah, so... You've got a bird symbol, you've got an arrow, which is your ability to fight, you've then got honor, which has a couple of uses, and then you've kind of karakia, which is kind of magic.
Okay.
So if you want to place birds, then you just play cards with the bird symbol. And you can play as many as you want, take that number of birds.
You take your tokens here and you get to place them in, and it would have to be in a mountain region in this case, right?
So you might think, you could go in there. The problem with going in there is, if this area here is worth a lot. I see a
volcano here.
It is a volcano. It's worth a lot, but if this keeps going up, at the end of the game it will blow up and everything there will be destroyed.
All right.
So this is your risky area. So
high value.
High value.
Right.
High value.
Okay. Yeah.
Whereas you might think, it might be a bit safer to go up here. The only problem with here is each of the areas have got a number. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
5, and this is the invasion room. So later on, let's just try and speed up the game here. So
Sure.
got another volcano. It's probably not going to. Right. So yes, this would be one of
What are these,
the
some weasels or rats
yeah,
or something?
Yeah. So these guys would. What happens is they kind of load up. Well, I'm trying to see if we got. Let's just see if we find. All right, here we go. So this tells us.
So this here.
Yeah, so this symbol here tells us we draw 2 mammal cards. Okay, so we draw them from the mammal deck. So they don't come on immediately unless I think it's weasels do come in immediately. But here we've got 2 of these.
They start to stack up,
They stack up,
But
yeah.
eventually, they
So
will
eventually
invade, right?
They will invade. So these will stack up
Yeah.
until a card comes out with their symbol on. So, I mean, let's just pretend for the moment that we had the...
Let's stack the deck a little bit here.
Yeah,
That's
let's
fine.
stack the
For the
deck.
example.
So, let's see. So let's say that 3 of these guys... Oh, we've got 2 of those guys, and then this card here came out. Well, then that means they're going to invade. So the first place they're going to invade is they're going to come here. And if there's
Into number
nobody
1.
there, boom, they go in there.
Right.
The next place they're going to go is, boom, they're going to go in there. So you can see them coming. You know where they're going to go. And you can play to them, because that's where your spears come.
These here. This is the spear symbol here. Okay.
Because that works in 2 ways. You can go and attack them back, and this tells you the number of spears you need to defend.
Right.
So you can actively go and attack them back. Or, if you happen to be in an area that they attack, so if they're due to place them there, and you've got enough spears in your hand to defeat them, and you play the spears and you defeat them. And, and when you do that, in both cases when you do that, you take the counter and it's worth victory points. And also, you get a little fort marker, which means you won't be attacked again until...
All right. So you can't be overwhelmed by attacks.
You can't be, no, it's not a case of, well, there's no point in beating them now because they'll just come back. It's like, no, if you beat them, they'll skip.
But there's an alternative too. You don't have to just attack, right? You can also sell.
You can sell what
right?
you can do, because this is something that's part of the real history of New Zealand, where the Maori wasn't all about the British going in and kicking the Maori off the land. They actually they would often offer to buy the land off the Maori, and the Maori very often would say, yeah, that's fine, and they'd set a price, and the English would buy the land off of them.
And this would get you into the land, and then there's a point where you're going to score based on the number of your pieces in the regions, right? And that will score you the victory points.
Yes, so that's where the area majority thing comes in, and that's maybe why you want to sell out, because it might be that you don't have any chance of scoring points there. So if you sell out, and you have to lose honor to sell out,
right?
Because it's a little bit of a dishonorable thing.
Sure.
But then that would allow you
to claim the points, right?
Well, you wouldn't allow it to
Not
claim
those,
the points,
but on the tokens.
On whoever you sold out on, that would go in there, which means nobody can put anything else in there, so it becomes fixed.
Right.
But at least you're going to get some points.
So how long does a typical game take to play?
Ooh, that's a very good question. It's probably just over an hour. I mean, the game is split into 2 halves.
Yes, okay.
So, and each half is identical. So, as I say, you've got a deck of 14 cards here. So there's 7 rounds in each half. You have 9 cards here. And those 9 cards to last the whole 7 rounds. So you kind of have to think of it. It's
Be careful how you're using it.
Yeah, I don't really want to go in too high here, because if I put 3 cards down here, then that only leaves me 6.
Yes.
And I don't know what other opportunities are going to come up. So you've got 9 cards over 7 rounds, then you score points by looking at these, and then you repeat the whole process, and then it's your total score.
Okay. And this is a game that is out now? It's available?
It is available now, yes.
And this is Noah, right? And how many players can this play up to?
I think it's up to 4.
Up to 4 players. I'm quizzing you.
You're quizzing me. I think it's up to 4.
Up to 4?
Yes.
Up to 4.
Yeah.
Up to 4
Yeah,
players. So there you go.
2
Up to
to
4
4
players. Excellent. Thank you so much, Martin, for giving us an overview of the game. Appreciate that.
Okay.
And all of you, thanks for 3 to 5 players. Thanks all of you. Thanks for watching.